Okay, it looks like we're live. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Verde Arbusto, and this is the Schumann Resonance Harmonics channel on YouTube and Facebook. I want to thank you all for being here, especially Wages World subscribers and those who have recently come over and said hi and thank you. I appreciate all the comments and the suggestions, and it's been very fun and interesting reading with people and connecting with in the comments. This is actually a video that's more or less dedicated to the comments, dedicated to people in the comments with a certain symptoms. And we have been going through, I have been making videos talking about the two subjects of the ringing and the vertigo. And that's what this video is going to be focused on, the topics of the so-called ringing in the ears and the vertigo that people have been having. Okay, so before that, I think I'm going to just tell a joke. What do you call a person? Oh, I'm sorry, I messed it up already. What do you call the mushroom who buys a round of drinks for everyone at the bar? The answer is a fun guy to be with. Okay. So on that cheery note, let me get into the discussion. We're basically talking about two non-medical related items. First, my job is a landscaper gardener. I have two jobs. One, landscaper gardener, that's my day job. My other job is as a bicycle technician. Okay, so everything I say is coming from the perspective of a bicycle technician. If you have a medical condition, this is not the video for you. And I have made this continuous disclaimer throughout this that this is not a medical-related discussion. This is not a medical-related topic. The focus here is how the Schumann resonances affect your body. Okay, so first and foremost, what are the Schumann resonances? These are the electromagnetic frequencies that are circling the globe that are caused by lightning. Traditional Schumann resonance theory holds that the Schumann resonances are caused by lightning discharges from the ionosphere to the planet itself. So these have been the standard Schumann resonances for, I don't know, 1,000, whatever, since before we have started keeping track of the Schumann resonances. So they're probably there from the beginning of the Earth in some way, as long as there's been as long as there's been an ionosphere and there's been a discharge of electricity, electromagnetism from the ionosphere to the planet, we have had Schumann resonances on the planet. Okay, so the Schumann resonances have been around since, as far as they know, since the beginning of the planet. Okay, now this is, again, the discussion of the Schumann resonances on the human body, and we're looking at the discussion of the Schumann resonances on the effect of the body. All right, so I have... Hold on, let me pause this for a second. Okay. In previous videos, I have explained the theories... how do I say this? And I've made previous videos that have gone more into depth about what I'm going to be talking about. I've narrowed down tinnitus, or the so-called tinnitus, the ringing in the ears. I have the theory is that it is magnetic induction of the inner ear. In another video, I have nailed down the so-called vertigo as a result of the piezoelectric principle in action on the crystals of your inner ear. Okay. So other videos, as I said, I have introduced it at more length, and I'm going to be making more videos at length that talk about this. All right. For the purposes of this video, what I'm doing is I'm correlating one to another. I'm correlating the Schumann resonances with the medical condition as I had talked about. In other videos, I have correlated the one to another. So I've correlated the piezoelectric to the crystals. And I have shown how this is a gyroscope in the upper ear. Now, I've introduced this as a topic, but in the one relating to the other. Now, I want to show here that where on the chart it falls, okay? So I have this lined up, the inner ear up here. This is the amplitude portion of the program. So the amplitude is the magnetics. This here spike is a heavy spike of electrics. You can see it, it's lined up. It's lined up here to here. Another spike there. There's a tiny spike there. There's a good spike in the upper grade. This is what I'm calling upper grade electrics, high test. Okay. What I call mid-grade electrics is, I'm shaking like a leaf on a tree. Okay. So in the middle here, you have the yellow and you have the red mode. So those two will give you orange, rust, some variety of there. When I refer to, again, the mid-grade electrics, it's the two of these together. The red and orange of some type, maybe a little bit more red, maybe a little more yellow. Yellow gives you pumpkin, a little more reddish gives you rust color, but somewhere in the orange, red, pumpkin, in between the red and the orange is the mid-grade electrics. And it's the same thing for mid-grade magnetics, if I would call it. I usually don't call it that, but the mid-grade electrics. And the mid-grade electrics, it's important because it floats around in the magnetics. It's not an electric spike. You see these? Those are spikes, electric spikes. This right here, a tiny little bit right there, that is what I would call the mid-grade. I think you can see that. I'm looking at my camera. Can I say that? Yeah. All right. Yes. So the mid-grade electrics are floating around in the middle of the magnetic field. Okay. If it's going this way, it's straight up electrics. But if it's floating in the middle of the harmonic resonance, this is our 7.8 harmonic resonance right here. So if it's floating in the middle of a pool of magnetics, that's what I'm referring to as mid-grade electrics. Okay. All right. So this is our electric signal here. So what I'm postulating as the piezoelectric principle is what's causing the messed up sensations in the upper ear. These crystals, you can't really see them. I'm going to try and scoot in on this. Okay. Less. Okay, how we doing? All right. Okay. So, these little guys here, they look like clouds. Those are loose crystals, so shifted crystals, okay? There's a bed where it would normally home. These crystals are lodged here, okay? And then there's a fluid that sort of surrounds it, that encases it and sort of pressurizes it, if you will. And so when the crystals are loose, these jammy jams are loose, then it creates this vertigo effect because they're flopping around. The medically related vertigo stops when you stop moving around. Okay, so that is not what we're talking about here. This right here, this is the piezoelectric effect. If it is indeed the piezoelectric effect causing the vertigo, then these spikes will drive that crazy. The way that the piezo system works, or the piezo effect works, is that as you squeeze in that, it pegs a meter. When you loosen it up, it goes over that way. When you squeeze it in, like that. All right. And so on and so forth. I have showed a animated GIF that showed you that in another video, but this is just a reminder. So it works the other way. Piezo works both ways. When you deform this, you push it in, you create an electric value. Conversely, when you send an electric charge through it, through these the terminals, when you send an electric charge, it deforms. So the piezo effect works in various crystals, ceramics, with DNA. So these electric spikes is the theory, because of the piezoelectric principle on these crystals, is what's giving you this vertigo. And as you can see, well, let me scoot out. Okay. So we go back to original here. This is a gyroscope. I have another video that's explained it more. I will, I think, explain it more in again, more videos because it's completely relevant here. This right here is this right here, okay? The base of it, that right there, is this, okay? So these are what keep you upright. These utricles, they call them, are what help a person, and there's 3 different axes here. You can't really tell it well, but there's 3 different axes. This one here goes up to the top and then back down. This one goes back and forth like that, and this one is a little different, jammy, but 90 degrees from that one. All right, so all these together give you your sense of uprightness, your sense of balance, and all of that. So when this fluid is getting affected by that, the crystals are affected, the fluid's getting affected by that, the piezoelectric, and getting jammed when you're getting whacked with 84, for God's sakes. In the high test, the white and yellow, or high test, that's what I would postulate is more where that vertigo is coming from, is this higher grade electrics through the piezo effect. Okay. I'm going to pause this for a sec. Okay. So the second part of this is the quality, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Okay. The bottom one here is frequency, F1, F2, F3, F4. So F1 is the white, or the F1 rather, that's the white. F2 is the yellow. F3 is the red. F4 is the green. Okay, so quality, Q1, are the magnetics. The low point of 4, the high point of 7.28, and this will go up to like 8.1 or 8.2. If it's at 8.2, it's a crazy day for your ringing. So the magnetic, what I'm postulating, I've said this in other videos again, this is a magnetic induction coil in your ear. Okay. Now I've explained this in other videos. I'll explain it really quick. The sound comes in. The sound comes in to the ear through this channel, and then it goes. There's a tympanic membrane right here. Zoom in quick so you can see it. Sort of. All right. I think that's right. Oh, that's right. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So this right here, the cochleal, is the induction coil, what I'm calling the induction coil. Okay. So first, the tympanic membrane, all of this has got fluid in here. Just remember that. This is all kind of pressurized. It's all got fluid in here. So the tympanic membrane is what separates the outer world from your ear. All right. Now, tympanic membrane is just a sheet of skin. Okay. So an impulse, a wave, hits that normally. To create sound, it needs a transversible medium. That's the fluid in there. So it hits the fluid, it vibrates, and it goes through here. Now, in the cochleal, here, this is that. The cochleal shell, the cochleal coil, okay, at the end of that is attached to an electrical, a nerve. And that nerve sensation is what creates sound. Okay. But what creates that nerve sensation is these hairs right here. Okay. These hairs, little tiny hairs, line the inner wall of the cochlea. So when these vibrate, they will vibrate by what would normally be sound waves. Okay, those send a signal to the brain through the electrical nerve, blase, blase. Okay, now, when these, in the medical condition, when these are damaged, this is what they're telling you, is when these are damaged, you'll get the official tinnitus with a capital T. That is the ringing, the buzzing, the clicking, the clacking, the hammering, the whatever oddball sounds you have that are not caused by the immediate environment. They're subjective, they're in your head. Okay. Now, this is not what I'm talking about again, but here this is what we're talking about in the Schumann-related theory, is that these hairs are being activated through magnetics. So this is acting as a magnetic coil, picking up the magnetics in the environment and sending an electrical signal down the line into your brain. It's being recognized as one, I want to say one tone, but I don't know if that's actually correct, because the tones are shifting. They're sort of, it's not one continuous tone, but it will, how do I say this? It's not entirely always one continuous tone. That tone shifts based on this right here. Okay. So the ringing in the ears, we want to start correlating when people are hearing the ringing in the ears with these spikes. So there are some subscribers who have commented, as well as myself, who have kind of been holding on to an idea of getting people to journal when they're feeling vertigo and when they're feeling the ringing sensation. And we would like, I would like people, the few people who I've talked to in the comments and myself, to maybe start journaling when they're writing, when they're getting these sensations, and then write it down in the comments, if they would, and logging it. Because a lot of people are saying, oh, I feel that, I know what you're saying, but we would like to get more specific information on this from people who are having this specific issue, period. Now, again, if you have legitimate tinnitus or a medical condition, we're not talking about that, but if you've otherwise been cleared by a medical doctor, then this is what we're talking about. I am not a medical professional. This is not to be confused with medical advice in any way, shape, or form. I am a bicycle technician, and my other job is a landscaper gardener. Okay, so this is from the perspective of a bicycle technician who is more curious to see if other people can corroborate this. Okay, so, all right, so I have in another video introduced how this is accepted as for our theory, how this is accepted as a magnetic induction device. I will be going more into detail about that, comparing the two so you can see it with that with the magnetic induction coil. I will be going on more specifically about the calcium chloride that's in there and how that is affected by the piezoelectric effect. And I'm sure those will be riveting, absolutely riveting and rip-roarious videos for all. Okay. All right, so we're almost at 20 minutes. I try to keep these under 20, around 20 minutes, but definitely under 25 minutes if I can help it. So I've kind of introduced some more on the Schumann resonance harmonics on the graph. I've talked a little bit more about that, specifically as it's relating to the tinnitus and the vertigo. I think it's really important for people to kind of know, if they're going to keep track of this stuff, what it is that they're looking at and what it is that where you're finding what on the chart. I've had discussions with people about the how you would keep track of the Schumann stuff, and unless you know what you're looking at, I think it would be kind of difficult. But as I give people more understanding of how the Schumann resonance works and what you're looking at on the chart, then I think it makes more sense. And you can get a better understanding of what it is, how to correlate, how to connect one with the other, how to connect the electric spike, how to connect these electric spikes with that vertigo, crazy vertigo, right? And or if you're getting the ringing in your ear, how to connect these magnetics to this here, your inner ear, what's happening. All right. The doctors, the medical doctors, are not able to diagnose something further outside of their expertise. And so when you have gone to a doctor with the ringing or the whatever, and they've been unable to help, then this is where, that point is where this information becomes completely relevant and interesting to you. Okay, so, all right, we're at the 20-plus mark, and that's a good place to stop for today. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate your coming here to support me. The love you all have given me, except for maybe one or two people who just weren't even on talking about anything that important. All right, so, and I thank you all for being here, especially Wages World and his subscribers. You all are beautiful and wonderful. And everyone, just have a wonderful day. Thank you all for being here, and much love to you. And you are known and you are loved by the universe. And remember that. It's a world, it's a universe of intention. Where you put your mind and your intention, that's where the results will come from. And if you ask, you shall receive. So just everyone have a great, wonderful day. Thank you all for being here, and much love.